Ha!
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast on time. I'm the LEGO Zora.
I am Bgoldbricks.
And I am Hylian Bricks.
It's good to see you all again.
It's amazing. We had so much fun last episode, so it's very nice to finally be back with
we
y'all.
did.
All right, so I believe, Mr. Brandon Goldberg, you mentioned that we might want to begin today with the Sonic segment.
Yes, because FYI to our wonderful audience, I wrote down a list of topics before we started. I will fully admit we should have been doing that every single episode this entire time, but shut up. I did it this time. Okay, let's go to that Sonic segment.
All right, so there are some new Sonic sets, it looks like.
Yes.
Very interesting. What I hear, Brandon, is that you, what did you say about them? You hate them and you love them?
Well, no, I said I like them a lot, but I don't like them.
Yeah.
Let me get the pictures right now. Okay,
Right.
so I'm looking at them, and okay. So here's the thing. I will say that none of these sets are bad. Not a single one. All three of them are fantastic. But the part where I say I don't like them comes in the fact that in comparison to the ones we've gotten before, in comparison to them, they're a bit lackluster. And I recently watched the episode where we talked about the leaked set names, and I got a few things right in my guesses. So the first guess that I got right was that Supersonic has his own launcher thing. The second thing I got right was that Supersonic reuses Shadow's head.
Wait, does? I don't
Yeah,
think
he
it does.
He does. I mean, it looks like he does. I could be wrong about that. It's kind of hard to see. But all right, we're gonna call that a 50-50.
It is pretty hard to see. I think it's a new one though, because it sticks up in a slightly different way.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well, actually, I'm looking at him in the No, I think it's new, but it is hard to tell because when he's in the circle, it looks like the center. Would you call that? Frill goes up.
Quill.
Quill. That's right. I'm completely wrong. Yeah, the quill. It looks like it can't go up too high, or else it wouldn't be able to fit in. I think I saw
That's true.
Let me see. Supersonic. Obviously, a lot of these ones that you see when you pull them up are all fake, but yeah, I guess there isn't a official. No, I mean that is an official image. Wait, it's on Lego.com. Hang on.
Oh wait, no! I found a picture of Sonic and Shadow standing next together. It's on the back of the box. Oh no! I was wrong. It's a different head. It's different.
There it is. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. So that's
okay.
Good.
All right.
That's good.
Okay. So I didn't get that right, but it's close enough.
Yeah. Close enough.
Okay. The third thing I got right was that the Knuckles set, you can take the Master Emerald from the Rouge set and just place it in the shrine.
That's true. That was really smart, actually. Yeah, that was really smart of an observation because I wouldn't have guessed that. I don't think I did. I probably didn't.
I also okay. So let's talk about the good things in these sets. There's not many bad things, but let's talk about the good things first. Okay, the first good thing is Supersonic. He looks great. I love it.
He's amazing. I think that that's the only new mold for this whole wave.
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay, well, and so I gotta say, I mean, that's exactly what I would have hoped out of Supersonic. A new mold for the head, which I think at the time I was like, it could go either way in terms of if they make one, and they did, and so that's great. And he looks spectacular. He's yellow and not gold.
Well, I mean, they weren't. I mean, I didn't expect them to make him gold.
Yeah, either way, I'm happy with it. Maybe one day we'll get like a chromed out. That would be really cool. They
A
don't really
Comic
do
Con
that.
exclusive.
That would
Oh
be-
wait, no, they don't do that anymore.
No, not really. They do have chrome keychains, like chrome minifigures keychains, but that's the only thing that I've seen that's chromed. The image of what is that, Maria? Amazing.
Yeah, oh yeah, that. First off, wow, like, wow.
That's good attention to detail.
It is. It really is.
Oh yeah.
And there is if you look at the image though, the image that they use for shadow, the head looks a little different in the image, and it actually looks like it's like better than the minifigure, in my opinion. I kind of like the way it looks. So that's kind of funny. But besides that, yeah.
The next good thing is Tails and Knuckles have new facial expressions.
That's true. That's true.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And Tails has his own spinner ball thing.
That I gotta say, I don't care too much about the spinner ball things, but you know, that's fair. That's nice. Yeah.
I like the grapes in the Knuckles set. I think that's really funny.
The grapes in the oh yeah.
And I really appreciate that we're getting Egg Pawn and Egg Robo in these sets.
I really like them as well.
Yeah. Okay. So now onto the and again, before we get to the not so good stuff, I want to just add one more time that these sets are good, but they're kind of the weakest that we've gotten so far. I'm just saying.
Agreed. I mean, you're completely right. Yeah, that's accurate. I will say before we get on, what do you think about Knuckles' new facial expression?
No, I like it. It makes sense.
I think it looks just a little bit like it's photoshopped on, like it's a bit out of left field. Like I don't think they've had other facial expressions in the Sonic line that have like teeth that look like that.
Well, I mean, Sonic and Tails have like smiling expressions, but I get what you're saying.
It's not terrible, but it just looks like straight up like it just looks a bit crazy. It looks a bit crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I can't hate on it. But no, go on. What's the bad stuff?
Okay, so the first bad stuff is that Supersonic is the only new character.
Yeah.
Unless you count Egg Robo, but I don't.
Yeah.
And listen, I understand that not every set can have a new minifigure. There were sets in the first wave where there were technically no new minifigures. But I think the main offender here is actually the set with Supersonic. I mean, like, Sonic and Eggman makes sense. And sure, we include Shadow, because, I mean, obviously it's the year of Shadow, according to Sega, so whatever, right?
What?
But...
Sure.
But, like, why no Metal Sonic? He would have been perfect for this set.
Yeah, he would have. I really do think the way they're making this is around the minifigures, which is something that I feel like LEGO has always done, and yet has like they pretend that they don't do it. Like they make whole series and whole waves and whole sets around just the fact that people want certain minifigures, but then they go back and they say, like, it's about the sets, and it's like, no, it really isn't about the sets that much. Like they make this whole... Now, to be fair, this whole wave has a lot of sets that have no new minifigures. That's entirely fair. And I guess there are different, markets that they're appealing to. There's the minifigure market, and then there's the people who just want the sets and the toys, and I think that's great. But yeah, I think they definitely made this set with Supersonic around Supersonic and not around being a good set. Like in and of itself, which it is. I mean, it is a good set. It comes with Supersonic, so that will, I think I'll probably buy it. All things considered. And then they'll withhold Metal Sonic.
Yeah, another issue I have. Well, okay, actually, no, wait. On the topic of new characters, okay, so I know I said that like Metal Sonic should be in that set, but again, like that Tails boat set, I actually think is the worst set of the entire thing. Like all of these Sonic sets we've gotten, I think that Tails boat is the worst. Not because I think it looks bad, because it doesn't, but it kind of does, because the entire front half is taken up by the ability to launch the spear.
Yep.
But also, like, I kind of was like willing to like overlook the Knuckles mech, because like because it was like I said in the episode where we were talking about that, like in the Fleetway comics, that thing would have probably appeared.
So like, yes, true, yeah.
Like something like that has grounds to stand on. And I'm not saying this boat doesn't. I'm just saying is that this boat literally looks nothing like the other Tails boats. They could have done the other Tails boats.
Yeah. What is this? I'm trying to find on Google what this boat is.
Well, it says it's the Sea Fox 2, but I don't think there was a Sea Fox 2. The original Sea Fox was in a Game Gear game that looked nothing like this.
Yes, that's what I'm seeing. He does have some boats in the Archie comics, but those don't look anything like it. I don't see a Sea Fox 2.
Yeah, so that my issue with this set is that it literally is the complaints I've heard about Lego Sonic, but like actually valid this time. But the bigger issue, and this is a me thing, because like part of me felt like they weren't going to do it, but I just feel like if not in this set, like where then? But like no Big the Cat.
Oh.
Like,
I mean, they'll have the opportunity, but you're right. This would have been a good place.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't know. I just feel like maybe Cream. Like, why couldn't Cream have been this set?
Yeah,
like I understand that like Big the Cat is a very is kind of a niche character. Mm-hmm. Like I understand that he would have been difficult to put in a set either way, but like what's stopping them with Cream?
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're gonna do niche characters. I feel like the modus operandi, I believe is the word, of the Sonic toys in general nowadays is make the basic characters. And Rouge I was so excited about, but then it turns out Rouge is like a main character now, and so that kind of creates that as something that makes sense why they did Rouge. I think that maybe the next wave will get one new minifigure. Probably Metal Sonic is the most sort of run-of-the-mill basic character they could do. Silver would be close second, but even he's a little bit more like Sonic 06, a bit of a character they might not do. But it's sad to see that, I mean, it's good because I'm glad they keep making these sets and that there's going to be Super Sonic.
Well, yeah, I'm very glad that we're getting new ones at all.
Yes, definitely. New Prince as well is also great.
Oh yeah. I'm just like it's a bit conflicting, honestly, looking at all these. But like, I don't know, like something just feels like different about all these compared to the others.
Mm-hmm. Worse?
I mean, well, like I said, none of these sets are bad, and you can count on me getting them. But the point here is that like I'm less excited for these than I was for the other sets.
Yeah, I would agree.
Do you feel like they're trying to stretch out the Sonic theme with Lego, or they're just pumping out random sets?
That's the weird thing, is that I almost feel like they're holding themselves back.
Yeah. I mean, they are holding themselves back on some level, but then you got to also think, every theme has a budget that's given, and then basically the idea is you don't spend over the budget, and so I imagine they're trying to do as much as they can and still make great sets with the period that they have to, or with the budget. So next year they'll probably, if this continues to sell well, which I imagine it will. I mean, most teams get 3 years, and we're on our second year, I believe. So I think that's accurate. But
yeah.
So okay, that's good to know. So we have at least 1 year, I'd imagine, of a fair budget. This one probably spilled over from last one, given that last so far we've got the first year had 2 new molds, Amy and Tails, and then the next year had Rouge and
Eggman.
Knuckles. Oh, I'm wrong. Yeah, I guess I'm wrong. So that would be 3 molds for the first year, and then we got 2 new molds, and then we got 1 new mold. So the curve here is going down, unfortunately. But I think there's are there going to be? Do you know if maybe we're going to get more sets this year?
Well, there's supposed to be 1 more, but it's apparently like a shadow head.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably nothing. A shadow head, like a build?
Yeah. I don't know.
Why just Shadow, though? No Sonic?
I don't, because it's the year of Shadow or whatever.
Oh,
he's
okay.
going to be in Sonic 3, but whatever.
That explains it, actually. If it's the year of Shadow. And then I imagine next year they'll do Sonic or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the 3 new Sonic sets. They're good, but they're definitely the weakest so far. Yes. I think my favorite one out of all of them, just all around, is actually the Knuckles set, only because I think that has the least wrong with it.
Interesting. I almost
I
would
think
agree. Maybe. Yeah.
I think Amy should have been replaced with Tikal. I know that's kind of like a
Ooh.
crazy thing. I'm just saying though, is that she was never going to come in another set unless it was this, or like unless we get a giant perfect chaos UCS set.
Definitely gonna get that. I'm 100% sure of it. No, yeah, you're right. It would probably would.
But Egg Robo being in this set makes complete sense.
Yes.
So
Sorry, is there? It looks like there's something that the Egg Robo is holding.
Oh, it's his gun.
And it's in the other hand. It's like a white thing.
Oh, that's his hand.
Oh.
The Egg Robos have white gloves.
What piece is that? Do you know?
I know it's not, but it looks like the minifigure series boxing glove. But I know it can't be because that's not how they connect to things.
No, I don't. What is it?
Actually, wait. I'm gonna look at the back of the box. Maybe there's a.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
You get a better look at it. It looks like it's the same thing that Knuckles has, just without the spikes.
Yeah, no, that is exactly what it looks like. What is that? I do like the Knuckles set though in terms of the build as well. I really like the builds. I really like that whole thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to give you much in terms of what that piece is. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. It's probably nothing special. I mean, I don't imagine they make a new mold for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hard to say. Interesting. All right. Well, that is that. So what's the next thing we should talk about?
Okay, the next thing I would like to talk about, let me just check the list here, is the Captain Rex Microfighter. So, for those who don't know, Captain Rex was in the not $300. What was it, like $500? How much was that, Venator?
Oh, it's like $600. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there you go. I don't know why I thought 300. But in a few days, let's see here. Next week, next Saturday, Captain Rex will be released in a $13 microfighter.
Yes.
And, well, before I explain why people have a problem with that, let me just say I think that's one of the best decisions LEGO's ever made.
Yeah.
I'm sure all three of us, even though Hylian doesn't really do Star Wars, I think all three of us can admit that that is a very good idea.
I mean, wasn't that the same situation with the mech fighter Boba Fett figure? Because that figure usually isn't an expensive set. And by having him in those fighter sets, like the weird mechs that they had Vader as well, I'm sure that it's better for people to get a minifigure for cheap.
Exactly, because if you guys look, I'm sure you guys have seen crazy listings for the original Phase 2 Captain Rex, or the Phase 1 Captain Rex, or any Captain Rex minifigure, unless it's custom.
Yes, like Republic Bricks.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get to that.
He's holding back.
So, people are mad because the Captain Rex in the Microfighter is 100% the exact same as the Venator, even the head underneath having the head bandage. So people have a problem with that, and those people are stupid. But that's neither here nor there. But the reason that these people who are very clearly wrong are upset is because in the instructions of the Venator, it says that Rex and Yularen are exclusive to the set. And their issue here isn't that Rex is in the set; it's that LEGO lied. Okay, so let's look at this in a non-biased view for a moment. Okay, so I understand where they're coming from. LEGO, in air quotes, lied. But I'm sure if you gave me a few minutes here, I could find a lot of examples of them lying. So this is not an isolated instance.
Well, I'll start. the AI Ninjago images. What was the explanation of theirs?
Oh yeah.
Aha. Yes, yeah. So if for people who aren't familiar, they Lego.com used AI to generate images for a Ninjago quiz, and apparently that was something that was leaked, that they were not going to have to the public, or that certain people in the company didn't want, you know, out of and about. But they ended up using it for a quiz. People saw it. They said, "Oh, we don't want to." Well, basically, they said two things that are completely contradictory, which is, on the one hand, um, we don't want to, stop creativity. We believe in creativity, so we don't want to use AI. And then on the other hand, we're going to continue to experiment with AI in the future. And they did indeed experiment with AI in the future, because this is not the only time they've used AI recently. They went on to use AI. It's hard to say if the Lego company specifically were the ones to use it, but they did end up using AI for a car, like a car's, like
yeah.
a car. What do you guys remember what it was?
I don't remember exactly, but I know what you're talking about.
Let me see if I can find it. But
No,
they
this is new. This one's new to me.
Yeah. So it's let me see. I bet I'm gonna check Ashen Flash. He probably made a video on it. They used it for the background of a Lego car advertisement, like a set, Lego car. So it's hard to say if Lego precisely were the ones to do it, or if it was the car people that were, had the, what would you call it, the partnership with Lego, who ended up actually making the image. I don't know, but they've used they've used AI is the point multiple times. What were we talking about?
Okay, but okay, so there you go. There you have it. Lego has quote unquote lied before.
Yes.
Now,
exactly.
before I continue, because again, and I know I always assume people are going to say things, but I'm basically thinking ahead of time to when more and more people watch this, and then people are going to comment before I even finish talking. I understand that out of the three of us, I'm the most critical of Lego. I know you guys have heard me criticize Lego to the moon and back. So me defending them out of nowhere might seem out of character, but I am a fair man, and I will admit when they do good, and they have done good with this. So
Yes.
If you look at the instructions, it does say that they're exclusive, but does it say that they're exclusive forever?
That's true.
And I've heard other people say things that do make sense, that one, the microfighter, the vendor hasn't even been out for a year and the microfighter's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fair. Two, that even if it had been a year, that like these sets are developed at the same time. So Lego knew about the microfighter before the vendor even came out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's entirely fair. But, and I hate to say it, I don't care. If you're buying that vendor for Rex, you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know why, like, especially if you're buying multiple vendors just so you can resell the Rex, you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, you don't buy a UCS set for the minifigures. And I'll
apparently
get back
some
to
people
that.
do.
Oh, sorry. So I'm just saying is that no matter what your reasoning is about Rex here, you have no grounds to stand on if you're upset about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, I mean, I could understand there's people out there who are Lego investors, and they can get upset, if investments don't turn out well, and that's fair enough. I mean, but that it is the realm of investment. It's something like, if I was a Lego investor, if I had the right attitude, I think what I would be thinking is, that's a shame for me. But obviously, Lego cannot possibly be expected to cater to, or should they even cater to, the Lego investors exactly. Like, there's just that's completely not part of Lego's modus operandi, which is a word that I'm now apparently using twice. But it's not part of Lego's thing. That's not what it is at all. And this is nice because now people can get the set. Obviously, for Lego, you could call it cynical, which is fair enough. I mean, it's a smart business decision to release a very valuable, coveted minifigure in a very, very expensive set, so that the people who really, really are desperate to get it as quickly as possible may have more incentive to buy the very expensive set. Hopefully, it's not the only reason they're buying it, given that it is $600 and it is a giant set. And so I imagine there's other reasons to buy the set. But it does, push people to buy it because it's a nice minifigure that people really desperately want.
I'm just saying, if you thought, like, if you see this set, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, please.
And again, there was no way of knowing about this microfighter unless you worked at Lego, so I'll give them that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of silly in hindsight to think that Rex of all clones would have remained exclusive to a Venator. If this was some obscure clone trooper, like I'm gonna think of one. Let's see. If this was if this was like what's his name? Commander Thorn, the red one with the rotary blaster. Then yeah, like him staying exclusive to a set like that kind of makes sense. I mean, But, and I don't want to hear any comments arguing about this. Rex is the most popular clone trooper. Let's not kid ourselves. He is.
Well, maybe Cody.
Okay, maybe Cody.
Because he's actually in a movie. But
yeah.
But you're right.
Well, I mean, unless you count Return of the Jedi.
Yes. That's true.
And Phase 2 Rex especially, because like I can't say this for sure actually, but it seems to me that the common consensus is that Phase 2 clones are better than Phase 1 clone troopers.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, they have different styles, but I prefer Phase 2. I've always preferred Phase 2. I think most.
I've actually, as of late, considered removing all of the Phase 1 clone troopers from my clone trooper base that I have. Because I would always just mix Phase 1 and Phase 2 because I was like, oh, whatever, it's my thing. But like, honestly, it's just the fact that, like, I mean, with all the Phase 2 clone troopers we've gotten in the last 2 years alone, I think Lego's kind of like slowing down with Phase 1 clone troopers.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I don't think.
I was just gonna say I actually have done that now. I have 2 different base plates, one with the Phase 1 and all the other, pre 2020 clones, and then I have just like 4 base plates just with straight up Phase 2. They look very cool, very expensive, but I don't think I'm adding to them anymore for a while, at least until this set comes out, which I gotta get Captain Rex to really be the jewel on the top of the gem pile.
I just I don't think like Lego's gonna go back and make like a new Phase 1 Rex, Cody, or Fox or Wolf. So
well, it's harder to do for the Phase 1 in terms of, because they've created this new style of the Lego Clone Troopers that's like both Clone Wars and film. So it's like it's animated and it's real. They had 2 different ones. Now the Phase 2 clones look more like, between the Phase 2 clones in the TV show and the Phase 2 clones in the actual films, they look closer as opposed to the Phase 1, which is very stylized. So it's harder.
So as of late, I think I'm just gonna, just to make it easier to get certain ones, I think I'm just gonna stick with getting Phase 2 clone troopers for now.
Smart, I would agree.
Especially again, because like every clone trooper set, every set right now that is on shelves, unless that clone accessory pack is still out there, I don't know if it is. Every clone set besides that maybe that you can buy right now is Phase 2 clone troopers.
Yeah.
And that's how it's been like that for years now. Like ever since 2020, it's been almost all Phase 2 clone troopers, which is fine. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I like it a lot. I mean, I at some point it would be nice to have a Phase 1 army. I mean, but it would just be like the regulars. That's the thing with Phase 1. I think it's more basic. I mean, there aren't like 501st Phase 1 troopers the same way there are for the other ones. Or at least they're less popular. They haven't been in as much media. I've never really seen them in terms of Phase 1. So just a pure, I don't want to use that word, racial word, but just straight up like plain phase 1 army would be nice, but it's a thing that's besides, it's like set to the side as opposed to just phase 2 army where there's all the different colors, it's beautiful and everything.
Yeah.
It's the diversity. There's the racial thing anyway. Sorry. I don't even know. Go on.
So yeah, in conclusion about Rex, like, I just think that, like, we should just be happy with the fact that we're getting him. I mean, I think we should just be happy that for the first time since 2008, Rex, Cody, and Fox are all on the shelf at the same time. You can buy all 3 of them.
That's
I just think that's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing still somewhat has to do with Rex, but it has to do with more than just him. Oh wait, no. On the list here it says a more calm version of the gunship brand. Okay, I'm actually going to sum that up pretty quickly because I don't want to take up too much time with that. Okay, so I'm just going to very calmly. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to get all broody. I'm still going to curse because you all should expect that shit from me by now. But basically, I understand I got way too angry in that one video I did. So I'm just going to explain. There was a YouTube channel. I don't think he even posts anymore, called Life of Lego, and he made like a really stupid video, and he was a big hypocrite, and it was just really annoying. Okay, so what I was upset about wasn't that Phase 2 Cody and Jedi Bob weren't in this set. I don't care, and I don't care that Lego asked and didn't, because Lego didn't say what minifigures, and then we'll put it in the set. They just said, what minifigures would you like to see? So whatever. My issue here is the fact that they didn't put the correct pilots in with the gunship, but they do that for all the original trilogy sets, and they couldn't be bothered to do it for the prequel set, which I just think is very annoying, because they put these pilots you would have never known the name of otherwise in like the UCS Snowspeeder, but they just don't make the correct pilots for the gunship, and they'll give a million different excuses as to why. So that's why I got so angry. It's just because they were being so stupid about it. So that's why I got so angry. And see, past me, it wasn't that hard to not get that angry about it.
Nice. Well, it has been what, like 3-4 years?
Yeah, but at the same time though,
Yeah.
I still hate that set. The gunship's great, but everything else about it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a non-starter because it's not minifigure scale. But that's just me. I mean, I'm a completely different person from a lot of these people who are wanting hyper detailed, large things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is just a real shame that they didn't. I mean, you know, it would be a new mold, which they really don't do for
Well,
UCS. Well, that's not even true because of the UCS. What was it called? The UCS. What is it called? Tatooine. The Cantina.
Yeah, the Cantina. Well, that was Master Builders, but I get your point.
Oh, fair point. Fair point. That is a different thing.
But yeah, the problem here isn't that they just did it. It's the fact that this was the only time they could have, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay. So before we get to the next topic on the list, we're gonna take a little break so Zora can talk about his series that he started.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Introduction. Well, as you may know, I have a YouTube channel, the LEGO Zora.
Has a
Obviously.
YouTube channel? No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. New information here, you guys. You're gonna be surprised. Anyway,
New lore. Let's go.
new lore. And so I finally uploaded this animation, which I had been working on for like 5 years, something like that.
No, I'll say around 3-ish. Yeah,
3-ish. It was 2020, I think. 2020, maybe it was 2021 that I started it. I can't remember for sure, but I basically all of the animation that I did for this episode, which I released, last month, April 24th, 2024. I finally released it, but it's been there for like 3 years, 2 years, something like that. Which I've had the animation. It's just that I need to get the voices and I need to get it all edited together and everything, and I was very busy. But now it's out, and you can all go watch it right now on my YouTube channel, the LEGO Zora.
No way.
Oh, no way. That's the name of my YouTube channel. Big surprise. But I am very happy with it. I think it's a crazy thing that I was able to pull together. I do have to say, big thanks to Hylian Bricks, because I think like a lot of the cast members I met through him, And then also just in terms of the fact that he made an animation in relation to Legend of Zelda and everything, was inspirational as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Of course.
Especially-
Thank you.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, for sure. And especially back then, that was before. Was that before? That's not true. Brandon has been making animation before any of us, and he's been much more successful than either of us.
And it is undeserved. It is undeserved. You two
Well-
are much better at it than me.
Well, it's hard to say what's deserved, you know. I mean, like the sort of crazy videos that you have on your channel, which you keep wanting to avoid bringing up, they're like very popular. And
Well, yeah,
I
but
see
again,
the appeal.
they're popular because kids watch the. Are you talking about the Go Anime things?
maybe.
Okay, all right. Well, if that's what you mean, then they're popular because kids watch them, and then they come back like 5 years later, and they're like, "Dude, that was the cringiest thing I've ever seen. Like, this was
Bro.
whatever that toilet thing is." I
It's
literally
so
got a
cringe.
comment the other day.
Proceeds
I
to
literally-
watch.
I literally got a comment the other day. Do you guys know about that toilet thing? Like that like weird...
Skibbity.
Yeah. Okay, I got a comment. It literally
no.
said, "Where was it? I'm gonna find it." Okay, this was Skibbity toilet back in the day, and I literally commented. I replied to that guy. I'm like, "That bad, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah." Like, come on, man.
Oh man, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you get all this. I mean, I watched it. It's though because there's a thing that happens which I've been in theater like in school, and you learn about like this thing that happens in theater where like you're watching it and the actors are really listening to each other, and so they can like pause for like 2 minutes and hold the room and hold the tension, and it's so captivating. And something about your animations, like it invokes that, like the way that it sort of like pauses as things go on. It's actually quite gripping. It's kind
Yeah,
of like
I mean,
in Quentin
That's
Tarantino.
the thing is that
Anyway,
anyone who criticizes my stuff, which mind you, I criticize my stuff. I'm just
Yeah.
saying though, is that for the people who go above and beyond criticizing it, just know that every video that was made in Go Animate is like that. It just so happens that mine aren't of the best quality. Like, there's actually people out there who make like actually good Go Animate videos.
But do they get the views you do?
Yes.
Well, I guess some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. But and then of course you're making the content nowadays, the golden years, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah,
but-
we'll get to at the end of the video.
Yes,
Or
okay,
the
that sounds good.
episode.
That sounds good. But in terms of the series, maybe I should have said this to start with. This is the first episode in a series. Probably
Yes.
it'll have 3 episodes, about maybe 4, but probably 3. I really want to keep this short, but it covers a story which I think is very interesting, inspired based off of the famous line from Hylian Bricks' liminal. What would it be called? Classic. What's it called? Which one was it? I think it was the first episode, right? Of
Yeah.
of what is it? Hyrule Champion, right? So it was the first episode. Yeah. So this was what, when the queen, trying to find it.
He's finding the scene.
Hyrule Champion Part 1. So
I hope that the people watching this haven't seen it already, because because like you, I'm gonna say this now. If you it's gonna be so out of context for the people who don't watch this first.
yeah, oh yeah.
Like,
so
you have this
everybody needs
You have
to
this
go-
guy showing up to a 7-year-old, and he's like, "Hey, hot stuff," and everyone, people are gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah, well, I wanted to make it so it's like an animation that anybody could jump into, and
Well,
it would
yeah.
just be like a very weird thing to watch. But you know, it's like the backstory is kind of in the background. But in the first, here's the scene right here. I'll add the audio in post if it doesn't come up naturally, but here it goes.
Different? Yes, Your Highness. Off guard duty for the week.
All right, did anybody hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, good. So that's a line that didn't have. Well, to me, it seemed like clearly what she was doing was trying to start an affair, and so I started this entire series based on that premise, which is now more than I had ever dreamed of it being. And so it covers. This is not related to Hylian Bricks' Hyrule Champion series, because that one takes place before the events of Breath of the Wild, whereas this one takes place, the one I'm making, and have already released one episode of, takes place prior to the Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. But it, just like the whole story of the Legend of Zelda it's always cyclical, right? It goes, there's Tingles in one period at one time period, and now he's here again. Impa always shows up. Obviously Link and Zelda and Ganondorf. And so this takes the character from Hylian Bricks' Everett, and brings him into this world that I've created. And that actually, Everett doesn't show up until episode 2, which is not out yet, and you should be very excited for it because I'm working on it right now.
I'm excited for it.
Well, thank you very much. And so it should be very very exciting. Yes, and so I encourage everybody to check it out. I feel like I have gone on for quite a while now. So everybody go check it out. Support all the people who've been in it and everything. Hylian Bricks suggested I make a trailer, and so I did that, which was very cool. That was fun to do. Make a trailer for it, so you can go check that out. Link in the description, I imagine. So yeah, that's about it.
All right, before we get back, because there's 3 topics left. Before we get back into the last thing I just want to say, because it's really funny, is I think it's really ironic that in Hylian's series, Zora voices the king, and in Zora's series, Hylian voices the king.
Yeah. Well, that's the cyclical nature of things. Yeah.
And I may or may not be playing Ganondorf in this series. Maybe. Yeah.
By the way, actually, now that you bring that up, thanks for bringing that up, Brandon. Last Saturday, Zora, this is for you. I'm here.
Oh, no.
Brandon exposed one of the secrets.
What? Why are you telling him that?
We're not gonna say exactly what it is for avoiding spoilers to this.
All right, he's talking about that alternate take I gave you for the line you sent me.
Yeah, that one.
The one where you replied with "That's canon now."
Yeah, that one.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring it up.
We'll see what happens. I really hope he uses that because I was dying.
I find it so funny.
Okay.
I was thinking, and I'll get you guys' opinions on this. What if I record? I already got Hylian Bricks' recordings for the character he does in the new one, but maybe for the next episode, or I don't even know. Just an idea. What if I record everybody's takes like during like a Zoom meeting? Because the thing that I see in animation is that since nobody's in the room with each other, it's much harder for all of the performances to make sense together. And so I wonder maybe in the future if getting all the actors and actresses in one place together and recording them all together, not necessarily like all on Zoom, but like maybe each person has their own microphone they're recording into, but as long as they can hear each other, I think that might be interesting.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
Thank you. Interesting. Okay, that's good to hear.
Okay, so back to the topics. The next topic is the clone shipper helmets and the waist capes.
Oh boy.
See, this is divisive.
Oh, okay.
Let's discuss the clone troopers and their helmets first, because the waist capes I have like less to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we should start with the waist capes then. Okay, we'll start with the waist capes because I have less to say about that. Okay, so they print the waist capes on now instead of giving them the cloth pieces, which, by the way, I really want to make a meme that says LEGO doesn't give waist capes. The Cape Cantina stonks, or whatever the stuff. I'm not good with modern things. It would just, I know people would like it.
That's surprising how old memes end up being. Yeah, okay, yeah. So the Cape Canteen is this store where people make. Okay, these are some nice waist capes actually. It's pretty nice prints and everything. Anyway,
the thing is that people give 2 reasons as to why LEGO doesn't do this, and the first reason pisses me off because it's so untrue, and the second reason is why I think they actually don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first thing people say is because they can't afford to do it. And I'm like, you are absolutely full of shit if you think that.
Probably, yes.
Like, if they can afford to give them the pauldrons, they can do a waist cape.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, they can. Like, I don't want to hear it. They have enough. They can do it.
You're correct, but I got a question.
What?
Is it me? Or has there recent sets have been less and less fabric capes and more so plastic capes in characters?
Somewhat, yeah. But I'm just saying though, is that like Dreams, for example, that theme, like that's popular, has all these wastegapes and things like that, so they can afford to do it there. And I know Star Wars, there's a licensing.
Hello there, everyone. Ash and Flash here, and welcome on in.
Jesus Christ!
Sorry, that's my bad. Ash and Flash is not here. That's a lie.
That would be great.
New title: Ash and Flash feature.
Ash and Flash jump scare.
It's true. No, go on. Dreams.
I know that there's a licensing fee for Star Wars.
Yes.
But again, it's Star Wars. They can afford to do it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, they had a trend, it looks like, with the LEGO original themes. If you look at them in all sorts of ways, you could say that they're quote-unquote better, and they've been better for a long time as compared to other themes. And I think the reason is the licensing fee because, well, it's actually two reasons, I think. It's the licensing fee, and then it's also the fact that nobody cares about the LEGO original themes, which is to say that, like, they're not going to buy the sets unless they're actually really good, right? It's not like it has a license in terms of a iconic ship or characters. These are all original ideas, and so they have to really knock them out of the park, or else nobody's going to care at all, right? Whereas Star Wars, it has movies to advertise it. These so that's been the case even since like Nexo Nights. I remember being like, they've got.
So I do want to throw this in there. Sorry,
please.
Okay, so again, I get it. Licensing fee, I completely understand, but I present something that I don't think anyone else has brought up. If LEGO can afford to do that whole electronic system with Mario since 2020, they can afford a tiny piece of cloth. I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
I wonder if LEGO and Nintendo actually helps them, because it is digital, and Nintendo is all about obviously it's about digital things. I wonder if Nintendo helped build them or something. I don't know.
Maybe. But
that's a crazy thought. But you're right. I mean, that is kind of crazy how expensive the Mario line must be. Well, actually, I'm not sure. It's just cost one electronic thing, and then everything else is just bricks.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
But here's the thing. That's not the reason LEGO actually gives, which is why I think the first reason is bullshit. Because they can do it. I will die on that hill that they absolutely can. They just choose not to. And the reason they say they choose not to is because that kids, I don't know if they said this part specifically, but they said that kids have a hard time putting them on, which no, because I didn't.
That's what they said?
Well, that's what I've heard people say that they said, but I don't think so. But the reason I know for a fact that they said is that you can't sit them down if they have them.
It's true.
And that I believe that.
It's true.
Because they're right. Those airborne troopers, I have them sit, and I always have to take the wastegapes off, even as a kid. So they're absolutely right. I don't think that on its own is enough justification to not do it at all, especially in a $600+ UCS set. But it's a better reason than they can't afford it, because they can.
Yeah. I think that's a fair reason. Although, it's all about what you value. Life in general is all about what you value. But, I like the wastegapes. I really do. I mean, I like them because when they're standing, then that's that. But the clone troopers in particular, they're very action-oriented characters. And so in terms of kids, and they sit in all sorts of different vehicles. I mean, obviously he can't even get into his Y-Wing without sitting down. So it's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to say which. I think what would be ideal is they would be dual molded, and then you can move them and it will still go all around. Or at the very least, printed on all of the sides that it can be printed on, like side leg printing. I think that would be better, obviously. It would be much more expensive. Obviously, they can do it. For sure, they can do it. They haven't done it, which is unfortunate, because it would be nice. Now, I suppose there's a precedent sort of issue here, which also doesn't make any sense. I mean, you could say that maybe, if they do it for one minifigure, they got to do it for all of them, and now everybody who has a wastecape needs dual molding / side leg printing. But that's not true, because they have arm printing, for Captain Rex and for Fives, and so but they don't have one printing for Cody or any of the other clones. So obviously there's not that big of an issue with that in terms of what LEGO would imagine, but nonetheless, yeah. But what about the helmet holes?
Okay, yeah. So, okay. Well, actually, I do want to take 1 second to get like other people's opinion on this. Do you guys think that like the exaggerate? I don't want to say it's exaggerated, but the pauldron on Rex, he doesn't really have that in the show. It doesn't really look like that. But that's like LEGO's interpretation of it. Do you guys think it looks good? I think it looks fine.
I hadn't thought about it. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I don't know. I see all these like from Cake Cantina again. Like they make this piece like kind of like what Fives has, but I don't know. Like I think the pauldron is fine.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it again, it's not the most accurate thing. It's certainly one of those things where, like, if in the future they make a new version of LEGO Rex and he has a better pauldron, then I would be like, wow, they really upgraded it. They really did that. But I wouldn't, need it before that,
Yeah, well, I'll once I get the minifigure in hand, I'll decide really. But
sure.
Anyway, so now to the helmet holes because everyone's losing their shit about this.
Yep.
Okay, before I say what everyone's problems with it are, I want to amongst the group, are we cool with them?
Hylian Bricks, do you have any idea on this? Obviously.
Can you repeat what you said?
With the clone troopers and the helmet holes and them being apparently in the wrong place.
I don't know. No comment.
Okay, so
right.
I'll give my 2 cents real quick, if that's all right. Well,
yeah.
Actually, I want to hear yours first. Yours first.
Okay, so let's. I'm gonna say this. So everyone says, or actually, well, first let me say I like it. I like it. I appreciate it. Glad to finally have it. Now let me say why people don't like it. Because the holes are in the wrong place, and you know what? They are. But there's a reason for that. Because it would look really stupid if they were in the right place. Zora, I'm gonna send a picture in the Instagram group, and I want you to put this up if you can. I have a Clone Army Customs helmet where the holes are in the right place, and then I put the visor that LEGO uses, and you can see the top of the Clone Troopers visor underneath.
You could see.
You could see. That's good.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying though, is that like that looks really stupid.
Mm-hmm. True. I agree with that.
So LEGO choosing to put it where they did makes it not look stupid. So.
Okay. If I may, I might have to push back a little bit. Now, I think fundamentally, I'm very glad with where your mind's at, Brandon, because I think we actually agree, basically 100%. I think I actually have a lot of thoughts about this, because I think this discussion, if I may go so far as to make the whole situation bigger than it is, I think this discussion shows the evil of humanity. And the failure of people's minds to expand and to comprehend the nature of being itself. So let me.
I like where you're taking this, Zora. I'm gonna be honest. Hold up. No, this is why I'm gonna pause and say this.
Okay.
Zora, I know you have a personal YouTube channel.
Yes.
Don't ask me how I found. That's weird. I found it via your GoFundMe link, and we all saw your beautiful face and whatnot. But there's also other videos, which I just want to say you make some incredible video essays. I will say that.
Oh wow! Okay, I didn't know you checked that out. That's really...
I didn't know about this.
Thank
you make incredible video essays, so you bring in this analogy of being.
Is Pie's back a video essay?
I like the dynamic.
I really appreciate that. Yeah. Now, for those who don't know, so I think I'm actually going to take the GoFundMe down. I don't think it got any money, and that's fine because I also have enough money for college anyway. But I did have a GoFundMe up that you could see in one of my videos, and that I guess I forgot this, but it linked to my personal YouTube channel, which I had been making videos on for the past 2 years, and I really appreciate you bringing that up, Hylian Bricks. I really appreciate you watching it as well, because you're right. I did put a like a crazy amount of effort. I got really addicted to making them, and I really like to edit.
The nostalgia blindness one, that one hit different.
Oh yeah, man, that's crazy, bro. I don't know how you found the movies I made, and then you found this. It's like that's I appreciate you.
Okay, the movies was because I believe you shared it to us.
Oh, okay, that was my fault then.
I'm not
No,
that big of
I'm
a
glad.
stalker. Okay, chill.
You said what?
I'm not that big of a stalker. Chill.
No, fair enough. But thank you. That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. Yeah. So.
But please do elaborate those, Zora,
Yes.
on how you think. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just genuinely curious. How do you think that this
Yes.
shows like the problems with humanity or whatever?
Yes. So this is it. So there's a lot of things at play here. So I think the reason that because a lot of people have said this is overblown. Why are people caring so much about this? It doesn't matter that much. They're just toys, etc., etc., etc. I think the fundamental reason that this is such a contentious issue and that it's even this popular in terms of discussion is because of one man, and that man is Ryan from M&R Productions.
Yep, there it is.
Now, here's the thing. Ryan, also known as M&R Productions, is he the biggest Lego YouTuber? I don't think he is. There's a few Lego
Not
YouTubers
Lego
that-
YouTuber, but
Yes.
Lego Star Wars YouTuber.
Yes, and maybe more importantly, Lego YouTuber, like that's a Lego YouTuber, right? There's a lot of YouTubers who are Lego YouTubers, but really what they are is they're trying to make really poppy YouTube videos that they use Legos in. I'm thinking of I don't even know who I'm thinking of, but there's a lot of Lego YouTubers that are Lego YouTubers, but they're not like in the Lego fandom exactly. They're not making YouTube videos about the Lego fandom exactly, right? They're not like a Just Do Good. They're not like a Jang Bricks. They're not like a Ash and Flash. They're more of like a Mr. Beast except Legos type of thing. Now, M&R Productions then would be the maybe the biggest YouTuber in the Lego fandom at large, and of course, basically only Lego Star Wars, right? And there's a reason for that, right? There's a really good reason for that. It's not just like random. It's not like he just is, this guy that is mean and hates Legos and so he's famous. Like there's a reason. The reason is because he is actually really invested in Legos and in Lego Star Wars specifically. He actually cares a lot and he knows what he's talking about, right? This is a fact, right? He knows what he's talking about. And, I've watched a few Ask M&R, which is like his talk show basically, here and there. And the thought I had recently was this is basically like a sports talk show where you're talking about sports and like what's going to be on the roster or whatever, except for Legos, which is weird because I don't actually watch any sports stuff, but sometimes it's like on at the gym where I go to, and so I see that. And it reminded me of that. The point is that people hate on M&R Productions because he's very, very critical of Lego, and sometimes it's a little bit of like a resentment towards Lego. You can tell in some of the videos, he says something a little offhanded and you're like, okay, you don't need to be resentful towards Lego, but I understand, he actually cares a lot. And so M&R Productions became very popular because he's very invested in Legos and he knows a lot of what he's talking about and he puts out a lot of content and he also has a lot of Legos. So that also helps. I hope I'm not rambling too much. The reason I bring this up is because I'm trying to give M&R Productions credit here. Then he goes out and he makes a big thing about the helmet holes, right? He hates on them, right? He calls them helmet warts. And this coalesces a lot of the fan base around the helmet hole issue, right? And it's fair because it does look ugly, right? This is where I would disagree. I'm not fine with them. I do not like them. And the prints on the helmets, specifically the what is it, the 212th Legion Clone Trooper, the angle of everything, it's off, and it doesn't fill in the print the whole way, the way that the old helmet used to. Now, the helmets look worse, and they do look sad. Like each time I look at my army that has all of the helmet holes, it's sad. It's like this could have been perfect. And the thing is, they have two of the things that go out, right? It's not just the hole doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that it protrudes so the hole will work. And now there's two protrusions, one on top of another, and it just looks ugly. It doesn't look clean like the actual helmet is supposed to look like, and like the old helmet was. Now here's the issue. and I've done a lot of thinking about this because it's an obvious flaw, and Lego knew what they were doing, right? They weren't trying to make a flaw. And this is, I think, maybe where M&R Productions could give a bit more credit to the Lego company, right? I'm trying to give credit to M&R Productions because he cares a lot, and this is a fair issue to bring up. And now I'm trying to give credit to Lego because Lego had a real problem on their hands, right? They only have a limited budget, right? That's the starting base. And moreover, they already had a visor piece that they had in the past, a visor piece that they were going to use on Commander Cody. They already had that piece, and people already had it in their collections, right? So if Lego had made the hole in the right place, then you're right. It would be the image that you sent, the image that's now probably on screen. And it would look ugly if you tried to use the old visor on top of the hole being in the right place. So what they'd have to do is they'd have to make a new visor.
That's
right?
what I said before. Like Hylian, you had to have remembered me saying that to Octane, right? Like that I said the issue here is that they don't make a new visor.
I recall you saying that, but yeah, I don't remember the discussion.
Okay, but yeah, okay. So, like, but like before, like I just wanted to throw this in there. Like,
Sure.
Yeah, that's the issue here. Is that the issue here isn't that Lego is doing this or that. It's just that they don't make a new visor piece. If they did, they could have put the hole in the right place and no one would have a problem.
That's true. Except there's another problem, because people already have the visors in their collection.
Well,
And
yeah,
this,
but
this might sound like a minor issue,
like,
but I don't know if it is fully a minor issue because this is like a compatibility issue. And Lego, I remember when they were first making Lego Simpsons, then they like had a whole display showing how the sizes of the heads like fit into the Lego system. But
like the thing is that no, like these visors weren't even a thing back in 2005. So, all these people had to collect those from scratch when they first came out. I'm just saying is that like
that's true. That's true.
I mean, I will say Clone Army Customs, they make the visors, but they they go into like little slots at the top of the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
They are so they fall out. Like you could just nudge the thing and they fall out. So I didn't expect Lego to do that, because that is that you would lose those things so fast.
Yes. Yes.
Also,
okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Quick thing I want to say about M&R, which, like I'm not as critical of him as most people are, and I agree with you that he has good intentions. But I think sometimes he says like really stupid stuff. Like one of the dumbest things he said, basically he complained that the Vulture droids are too big and the Republic fighter tanks are too small, right? And he said, well, it's not about accuracy because the Republic fighter tank is pretty small and the Vulture droids are pretty big in the movies. So he said, well, I don't care about accuracy. I just prefer a good toy. So then he has, all right, if he says that, then he has no grounds to stand on when he complains about accuracy.
Interesting. That,
I just wanted to say that because that's been bothering me since like 2016.
That's a fair point. That's an interesting point as well, because you're right. That almost is basically the opposite of what he's saying about the helmet holes. Now, I will say there's a sort of established situation here. I think that in terms of minifigures, it's more of a collector's item. I think that's how a lot of people. Well, a collector's item / this is supposed to be the minifigure, right? Whereas with because you're talking about scaling, I believe, like the scale of them. I think that's fair. That because now that's like a miniature model of the toy. So as long as it's accurate to what it is, then it doesn't need to be the same scale. Also, it's an impossible thing for each thing to be the same scale.
Yeah,
I think I would agree with him, although the way he phrases it does sound like it's the opposite of what he has been saying the whole time, which is a bit of a contradiction. Although I think I would still agree. But that's a fair.
So yeah, I mean, as you at home watching can tell, this is a very divisive subject.
Yeah.
One thing I want to, again, this is more just me trying to get another opinion on this. Do you think like the antenna, like the rangefinder, do you think that's like too high up on the helmet? I mean, I think it looks all right.
Well, it looks better. I think it looks better than. Well, it is too high up. I mean, I think it is too high up. I mean,
all right. In terms of accuracy, yeah, it's too high up. But it's not like completely distracting. I don't think.
It's not completely distracting. I would agree. I mean, I think it's bad, but it's not completely distracting.
Well, okay. Well, what I'm saying
Mhm.
is that like Rex isn't completely ruined because it's a bit high up.
No, he's not completely ruined. I mean, yeah, definitely not.
I still think that Rex is like the best clone trooper on shelves right now.
Interesting. I might agree with you. Yeah, I think maybe Cody.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cody too.
Well, the arms are worse, but yeah, nonetheless.
But yeah, but like I personally like again, I'm sort of just like, and I know this is crazy for me because I'm very critical, but like I'm just kind of happy that we have that this is an option now, because the next thing on the topics list, which is just in line with this, so it's not like we're switching over, is that LEGO didn't do helmet holes on Phase 2 Clone Troopers, at least during the time period where they could have, because I don't count like 2005 through 2007. That doesn't count.
Sure.
Because Phase 1 Clone Troopers in 2002 didn't have helmet holes, so why would, so that's fine.
Well, back then clones didn't have attachments. Like none of the movies
Cody did.
Any. Oh, that's true. Cody did. That's a fair point.
Also, a quick side note, I learned recently that the reason that the 2007 or 2005 through 2007 Phase 2 Clone Troopers look the way they do is because apparently they were based actually on the 2003 Clone Wars.
Whoa, interesting.
So that makes me happy. That's really nice.
That's quite fascinating, actually.
But yeah, okay. So LEGO.
Oh, whoa! I'm sorry. I just wanted to bring everybody's attention. I just looked it up, and you're right, and that is absolutely astounding because that looks perfect.
Yeah,
I mean, they look perfect. Which is weird because they always looked ridiculously wrong, but they look perfect. So that's amazing. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, so that just makes me happy because I've always had a soft spot for those clone troopers. I always really liked the 2005 to 2007 Phase 2 troopers. I also really liked the original 2002 clone troopers. I love those.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw a custom of a original style Captain Rex using that helmet, and oh my god, that's my most wanted. That's my most wanted minifigure that could have somewhat have happened. Like I know they wouldn't have done it, but like I don't know, like. I want that so bad. That is one of the coolest minifigures I've ever seen.
That would be amazing.
Oh, okay, but so LEGO would have done it back in 2013, but they just chose not to. So the original Phase 2 Rex, which now that this new one is out, I'm just going to say, doesn't look good. They just didn't give it the rangefinder, and so many people ruined their Rexes by gluing one on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my mindset with these helmet holes, is that you either don't do it at all, so then you end up having a dumb-looking Rex without a rangefinder, because he looks dumb without one, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have it, and it's just a bit high up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'd rather have one and it be just a little high up than not have it at all.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
And the other complaints are completely valid. I understand that the holes do protrude. I understand that. And I understand that they wouldn't if they were in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But again, like I'm the problems here don't escape me. I want to make that very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I lost my brother.
That's okay.
I do think that LEGO should have just made a new visor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's what they should have done, and then all of this, for the most part, could have been avoided.
Yeah.
But they didn't,
mm-hmm.
and we should have known that they wouldn't, because the Skywalker saga had Cody, and he had that style. So, just saying.
Yeah, this is a very I think very funny issue, and also a very sad issue, because I think the way that the evil comes up that I was talking about before is, I think it comes up in maybe one or two places, which the first one is a lot of people don't have a big problem with the helmet holes, and then they get on people for having a problem with the helmet holes, and there's something that's ugly about, not the way you've acted, Brandon. You've acted beautifully, and I agree with you 100%. But there's some people who are like get really ugly about it, and they're like, oh, like they just roast M&R Productions. Like, I think there's something to do with resentment towards him just because he's very successful. they're like, oh, he cares too much or something, and the fans, who like M&R Productions and don't like the helmet holes, they're like, oh, there's something wrong with them, and I think that's just dumb, and I just see a lot of anger about that, and I think it's mostly resentment that it comes from, and it's just very sad to see. The other place would be maybe every now and again M&R Productions. Every now and again M&R Productions gets a bit too vitriolic about it, and I'm like, you're right. I agree it is bad, but like,
chill out.
Don't be resentful about it.
Yeah. See, the part I don't like about this whole thing, I mean, well, of course, what you said too. I don't like that either, but I hate like all the people who like are always recommending. It's like, hey, go to my website and buy replacement helmets for your clone troopers to make them look better. It's like you're asking people to spend more money. That's my issue here. Is that like, for God's sake, like just like I accept it because I can't afford to buy a new helmet for every single clone trooper I get.
No,
I'm buying all these battle packs. I can't spend $2 per helmet on every single one.
Yeah.
So that's it's behavior like that. It's like,
I can understand.
Criticize the helmet holes all you want, but don't be using it to make profit for yourself.
I mean, it's good that the options are out there, but you're right.
Well, of course.
I would never go for something like that, I don't think. Just because it's not Lego. Like, just looking on, a Lego Clone Trooper Legion and knowing that it's not made of Legos, it's just enough for me to not want it.
And again, what keeps me from getting upset about this is, again, we for almost a decade, we saw clone troopers that should have had visors or antennas, just didn't have them. Mm-hmm. Rex, Crosshair, I'm sure there were other examples.
True, Crosshair that's a good point.
That's why they didn't even bother doing Phase 2 Wolf or Phase 2 Cody for years, or Fox. I'm
Yo, Fox from Star Fox, let's go.
That's right.
I'm shocked they even bothered to do Rex or Crosshair at all.
Mm-hmm. No, well, Lego's put in a really bad situation here because they can either, have 2 new molds, which is a lot of money, and have a new mold for the visor, which then would only be able to work on Phase 2 helmets and not on Phase 1, and vice versa. It wouldn't be able to work.
Well, yeah, but that's how they look by design. Like the visors on Phase 2 Clone Troopers don't look the same as Phase 1. So
you're right. No,
and it's the same thing with custom makers too. Those Phase 2 visors I mentioned earlier, you can't put those on Phase 1 helmets.
That's true. That's true. No, it's just a matter of compatibility, and Lego really.
See, my issue with the helmet holes is that if you try to move the rangefinder down, it pops out every time.
Oh, yes. No, I have noticed that. That does happen. That's a real problem.
So that's my issue with it. But again, I've very rarely, if ever, seen Rex have his down. So
true. Yeah,
and again, so guys, if I was mad about this, if I was actually if this was a genuine bother for me, you would be hearing me complaining about it right now.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
I'm just happy that Rex finally has a rangefinder, and I don't have to spend all this money on a custom one and doing all this crazy stuff, and that he's in a cheap set, and that we have Phase 2 Cody and Phase 2 Fox, and we can eventually get Phase 2 Wolf and all this other great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All of that, the possibilities of the stuff that is now and the possibilities of the future keep me from being too angry about this.
That's fair.
But again, everyone's complaints about this are valid, but I think that people just need to calm down about it just a little bit.
I would agree. I think we need to heal this community.
So yeah, all that. So the last thing on the list here is Spider-Man Golden Years. We're going to talk about that.
Yes.
Okay. I know I was talking all about my plans for the Season 2 finale last episode.
Yes, you were.
And I'm sorry, guys, to have to break it to you, but Spider-Man Golden Years is canceled.
Wait, not forever, though, right?
No, it's done.
Forever?
Yeah.
Why?
A lot of things have happened in between episodes. A lot of personal stuff has happened. I'm not going to get into detail, but I do not feel the motivation to do it at all anymore. Just a lot of things have happened. I am in a I know we've been having a good time here, and we have, but I'm not in a good place right now, and I haven't been for a long time. But I've been trying to push
And you see,
through it.
Brendan, this is the thing, right? This thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You can continue that in a bit, but I just want to bring this up real quick. Then you said that you're motivated, that you don't feel in the right place right now, and that is all. I just want you to hear this. As a brother, I tell you, that is okay. It's okay for us to feel certain ways. Like sometimes we wake up one day and we feel like it's the end of the world. It's okay, and it's okay to validate the way you feel. But I'm gonna say what you told me once,
Well,
and
I
it's
say a
something that
lot
I
of things.
take near to my own heart because I do a play on myself like every day. There's days where you just don't want to animate, for me at least. But sometimes you just gotta do it. There's days where you don't feel like waking up, laying on bed all day, but you just gotta get up and do it. And that doesn't even apply for Lego stop motion. That's just life in general.
I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. If it was motivation alone, I would have said it's canceled for a month, and then I'll pick it back up later. But it's not just that. I was watching it the other day, like a few weeks ago, and I realized to myself that I completely rushed this whole thing. That it's not good. I'm not happy with it at all. And I don't even know why I did it, because this whole thing happened because one day I just decided, I'm gonna make a Spider-Man series, and
that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
But I bit off way more than I could chew, and it shows, especially in season 2.
And you want me to tell you something? I'm gonna tell you something.
Go ahead.
This was your first ever big stop motion project thingamajig, right?
Yeah.
Good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, now I'm gonna start self-inserting myself here. Who remembers back in the day this one series? What was its name? Oh yeah, Chaos in the Great Sea. That piece of garbage.
Well,
I simply.
I already know where you're going with this, so let me just butt in. I'm sorry, but to say this, I mean, Chaos in the Great Sea wasn't finished either.
And that's where I'm coming with, right? You live and you learn. That was my first ever attempt at a stop motion series, and you just start one day as a kid or whatever. You just say hey, you wake up hey, let's do this. You just have an idea and you go for it, which is amazing. That's a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
And eventually you learn the arts of stop motion and the torture that it is simply pure torture. Zora, you've been working on it lately. You've asked me. Walk cycles are absolute garbage to make, and that's things that we learn little by little with stop motion. And just basic film production, if anything, because stop motion teaches you the basics of filmmaking, if anything.
Yeah, listen. I mean, obviously, I've posted a lot of, well, not a lot, but a few stop motions ever since I announced on Instagram that it was over. So I'm not I'm not just gonna stop making videos or anything. I'm just saying though is that like I said, a lot of things have happened. So it's not just motivation and depression that's making me stop. It's a lot of things, but again, I don't really want to say those things. It's personal. Mm-hmm. So I just I don't know. I just
and that's okay that you.
But you combine
totally
all
okay
these factors, and it's just
that you feel that way. But what I'm trying to say here is basically, like I said later, you live and you learn. Maybe this was something that you're very passionate about, like last week or so. Then you realize maybe it's not as great as I thought, and then you just feel a certain way, and it's okay to take a giant break. I'm not saying you have to continue, but later down on the line, you'll realize, you know what, I'm gonna take all this knowledge that I learned from making this project from back then, take all that knowledge of filmmaking, story writing, production, all that knowledge, and put it into something else that's completely new. And you don't even have to do that, but just you live and you learn.
Yeah, again, I just like I did get people telling me that they really enjoyed the series, and I'm sorry that it has to be like this, but I just, like I said, it's just a lot. I
And
the
again,
thing
it's
is,
not overnight that's gonna happen. It could take years, it could take months
I
for
will
you to
say
realize.
that I really gotta think about this, but probably not. Like, probably not. I might consider at least finishing season 2, but I probably not. What is more likely is that I might finish the season finale, because I actually did start working on that in between other episodes. I actually did make a bit of progress on that. So in the future, I might at the very least finish that episode, because that episode, if I am able to pull it off well, it'll be really good. But again, it's unlikely. But something I did actually finish that I might end up posting is I made a credit sequence, which wasn't supposed to be for the series as a whole, but given what's happening now, I guess it kind of is. I have to make one edit to it, but I can post it. So
Are you sure you really want to end with this? Because it seems that you're still passionate about it to some extent because you care about ending it at
I'm
least.
passionate about Spider-Man, but
Good.
again, I look at what I made here, and it was really that Spider-Man and Venom fighting Carnage that really put in perspective to me, like, why I should stop. Because that was so far off from what I originally planned, it's not even funny.
And again,
But
you live and you learn. You could, if you didn't feel satisfied with it, that's okay.
but again,
What you
like,
can
again,
do.
it's
Okay.
again, it's a lot of things. There's a lot more reasons than what I've said. They were really personal reasons.
Yeah, and again, like I said, it's understandable. We respect that. Take your time. But from the looks of it, from what you're saying, that oh yeah, I have a postcard scenes, I have this. If it turns out well, then it seems that you still deep down care about this project. Although there's
Well, of
stuff that
course
you
I
may
care about it. I mean, I don't like
good,
I don't like hate it. I'm just saying though, is that I'm not proud of it like I was before.
and
I am
that's the
passionate
beauty
about
of it
it.
all. You could improve as in maybe in a later episode you start developing something more, you know, you start developing it more deeply, and all that makes sense why that happened beforehand.
I mean,
You know,
again, I look at what I make, and then I look at, like, for example, like what you and Zora are putting out. Like, you guys take all the time you need to make this stuff. I was trying to, like, again, the main problem with Golden Years is that it was completely rushed. Same two walls in every shot. Like, there was such little variation, and I was being lazy. I was being lazy with it.
it's okay you realize those things because now you could, you know, make greater stop motions, if anything.
I part of me just feels like I should just stick to those, like, really short stop motions. Those seem to be better, and those get a lot more views too. It's not about the views, by the way. I'm just saying though, is that, like, the feedback on those seems to be a lot better. Like, and, like, I don't know.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want at the end of the day, but what I'm trying to say here is just take the knowledge that you learned from Golden Years, failures, or whatever, and take them in consideration to make something better later down on the line.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just gonna leave it
appreciate
at
that.
that.
But so yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I hope I hope everyone wasn't too invested. If anyone is just dying to know what was going to happen later on. Just message me on Instagram and I'll tell you. But yeah, I can't really keep going with it. I was letting myself down more than anything else. But yeah, so again, I'm sorry, but yeah, so I might do a new series way later on, but for now I'm just gonna keep making those meme stop motions or whatever. I might consider posting the credit sequence, but yeah.
Fair enough. If I may give a little eulogy, I'd just like to say that I think that what Spider-Man Golden Years means to me is, I mean, you're right, you know, the walls being reused and everything, but what that meant to me was, first of all, it focused a lot on the dialogue, and the story and the plot and moving all of that along at a rapid pace. I mean, you know, you might look at my animation and be like, wow, there's more frames or something, but you know, that's like what, 3 years for however many, like 6 minutes. And so, you know, sure, you know, I did take my time. That's certainly the case. But what I see in your series is a plot that actually gets off the ground and gets going. And, you know, for me, I think, you know, I'm trying to be a filmmaker and everything, but the thing I always value the most is what you could call the screenplay or the story or the dialogue or the writing even. Because that's the thing that any filmmaker at any level, whether they have a crew of 0 people or a crew of like 10,000, they can get really good at writing and they have a masterpiece on their hands. Like that's the thing, that's the great equalizer, right? That's the thing that means that, you know, big blockbusters can fail and big blockbusters can succeed, just like a small movie can fail or succeed to be engaging to an audience based on the writing, based on the way that the story unfolds. And that's the thing I really enjoyed about the series. And moreover, what it meant to me is it felt like I was watching somebody, like it felt like not just that I was watching somebody play with Legos, but that I was able to, because if you watch somebody play with Legos in real life and, you know, you're not playing with them, but you're watching somebody else, it can be engaging enough, it can be fun, but obviously you're not like experiencing the gravity of the characters the way that the person playing with the minifigures are experiencing them, right? And so what it felt like to me was, it reminded me of when I was playing with Spider-Man. I really did that a lot, like what, 5 years ago or something. I played with my minifigures, my Spider-Man minifigures a lot, and man, when I think back to that time playing with them, it feels like it's the most epic thing that ever happened. Like the gravity of everything, even though I was still using like the same 2 sets in every single time I play. You know, I use the Daily Bugle and I use like some street building. And then I had all these minifigures and I was able to just play with them and it just felt so exciting. And that's what I feel like when I'm watching Spider-Man Golden Years. You know, it's stripped down, but what you get is the gravity of the minifigures and how much effort and how much emotion you're putting into the actors and the acting and the dialogue and everything. And so I'm definitely going to return to this series, you know, and it'll feel like I'm playing with Legos again. It's going to be great. And so it's a shame that it didn't get the precise ending that maybe was envisioned for it. But, you know, honestly, it's kind of like when you're playing with Legos, right? You play with Legos, maybe you pick up the minifigures once a week or once a day or something, and you play a little bit here, a little bit there, and the story never ends. I mean, that story I was playing a few years ago, it never ended. I mean, it's still going, you could say, but it's like the dreamlike aspect that kids playing have with their toys. You know, the story is never over. It's just an archetypal journey that continues forever. And so, you know, maybe it's best that it ends this way. I don't know.
Yeah, again, and I appreciate the kind words, and again, I'm sorry to have done this. It's just like, listen, I mean, in terms of you two, I'll explain a bit more like once we're done recording. But for the people watching, again, I'm very sorry, but it's just for the best, honestly. I wasn't really having fun with it anymore, honestly.
Fair enough. I guess you might have, I don't know, you might have grown into something else, grown into.
That's okay. It's like I said, it's normal and it's okay. It's something that you accept and learn
Yeah.
from.
Um.
But to end things on a positive note,
Yeah. Please.
Hyrule Champion Part 4 is almost done, boys.
Yeah. It's almost here.
Although I would say this because a lot of people say, "Oh, you've been saying that for how long now?"
That's true. Wait, how long? Has it been like 2 years or something?
Yep, 2 years.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Let me say, 40 plus minutes of animation. That is, it's something.
My God.
That's just raw footage, by the way, too. Raw footage, no editing, just 40 minutes on the dot.
40 minutes.
And it's not done yet because there's still a couple scenes I'm currently animating that have to be done, which are major scenes, which are important, so we cannot rush them. I gotta be very precise with the action that's being done.
Yeah, man, God. I thought, when I made Pies Back, it was a big thing because I took a year, and you took 2 years. So, and you've actually been spending like a lot of time on it, like throughout the 2 years. Like when I was doing Pies Back, I did like a bunch at in the first month, and then a bunch at the last month, and I didn't do anything with 2. But you've been doing 2 years, and it's 40 minutes, and man, I'm excited. It's gonna be so cool. Are we gonna get the cast together to watch it all?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's gonna be, dude. The story is. I was talking with Brandon. Brandon, we're not going to mention exactly what was it because I don't want to spoil anything because I want to keep Zora at least in surprise zone or whatever.
Yeah.
Last week, I believe, me and Brandon, we were just chilling together, talking. We never finished, but oh well. About the direction where I was going with some characters specifically.
Yeah.
It's deep.
Oh man, I'm excited. I hear it's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's especially that one scene, right?
Yeah, you guys gotta get excited for that one scene.
Wait, Hylian, has he seen it? He has to, right?
He probably saved it.
Oh,
okay, all right. I figured he saw it. I figured he was the first one to see it.
He probably screen recorded it.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm currently, literally, right now, animating as I speak.
Of course, man, on the ground.
Yeah, he's been recording this whole time, by the way.
Whoa.
Yeah, this whole time that we've been speaking, I've been animating. How much seconds have I grinded up? 15 seconds so far today.
Of animation.
Yes.
Yeah.
15 seconds.
Last thing before we end, don't buy from Republic Bricks. I just wanted to throw that in there.
And why
do not buy from him?
Republic Bricks.
Yeah, he tried to sue a child. Don't buy from him.
I don't think it's legal. It's even possible to sue a child, but whatever.
He lies to people. This kid sold him his entire Lego collection, and he got basically jack shit for it.
Yes.
That's what happens when you sell your console to DKO. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, DKO. Yeah, Republic Bricks is basically DK oldies. But the reason I'm not going into too much detail is because I'm actually going to get mad if I keep talking about it. So I just wanted to throw that in there before we ended the episode. Don't buy from Republic Bricks. And I'm going to laugh so hard if I get a message from him after this episode goes up saying, take it down or I sue you.
He's going to sue us. We gotta do this.
Yeah.
We gotta fight him in court. That's fine. Yeah. Thinking about that one scene, Hylian Bricks, have you considered maybe uploading your episode 4 to like some other streaming website?
Can you repeat that?
Considering that scene, which people will be privy to soon enough, have you considered uploading it to other streaming websites?
I know what you mean with that. I know the joke you're trying to make with that, but I will say this. Because it's a very good thing that you brought that up, because I'm very passionate about this topic.
Okay.
Not what you're thinking.
Okay.
independent filmmakers on YouTube trying to upload their films on Amazon Prime, getting their stuff up on Netflix. It is such tomfoolery, in my opinion. It bothers me so much that you have this crowd-funded film, get people to give money for you to create this project, and you're gonna pay them as well, have a fee for them to watch it. That's so stupid, in my opinion.
Hmm.
And I get it; it's a way for you to progress and actually have uh, rewards, I guess, for your work, hard work, creating a film. But it's not fair. Just don't do it. Don't do it, bro.
Yeah, fair enough. I haven't looked into that too much. That's interesting. Go ahead.
It's been kind of big lately because apparently every YouTuber now wants to be a filmmaker, have their own movie or short, and for some reason all of them want it to be like in a big platform, streaming platform, which is absolutely stupid to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
But one last thing before we go. Is there anything that y'all got to say about the Lego Legend of Zelda deck tree?
Oh boy. Okay, don't spoil.
Nothing,
I haven't
that we
looked-
haven't already talked about, honestly.
Well, there's two things that we didn't mention last time, which were sort of new.
Wait,
Please count.
don't tell me. Don't tell me. I'm gonna actually mute myself or so I can't hear.
No, it's okay. If not, we can just like skip this and act like it never happened. It's not that big.
I want people to know about it. I just don't want to know about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's nothing that major, by the way. So,
Is it the minifigures?
yeah.
Okay. I don't want to know what the minifigures are. My understanding is that there's more than we thought.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go to.
That's crazy.
Just one.
Okay, just one. Shoot, shame.
No pictures, just information, which we'll never know if it's true or not until the day comes.
That's true. Yeah, but you guys,
I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
people are free to search the information out. I imagine.
Yeah.
But it's coming soon. I mean, we should. My goal. So this is my goal, and it's kind of a crazy goal. But my goal is that I don't see any information until I walk into the store and find it. Which is why I say that maybe during podcasts to be like in near podcasts when more information comes out, you guys want to talk about it without me, because it is really important, because that's kind of the whole thing that we do here is talk about that sort of thing. But I'm just going to try to avoid it if I can. But that's going to be a while, and I'm sure it could be any day now that the information comes out. So
yeah. So we will keep the spoilers for you, at least at the minimum. I'm not going to talk about it anymore today because I think we're exceeding time here.
Sounds good.
But yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for watching.
Yep.
Watching. Let's go.
But seriously, don't buy from Republic Bricks.
And don't buy from first.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
most important of all, do
Yes.
not commit adultery.
I just realized I didn't talk about like the printing on the helmets. We were talking about the helmet holes, but I didn't talk about the printing.
Fair enough.
Oops. I
Well-
think the only character it looks really bad on, I'm just gonna be blunt, is Fives. I think they really dropped the ball on him. Like I can overlook the 212. Because again, I'm just happy to have it. But with Fives, it's like, yeah, that's distracting. Like everything else isn't really that distracting to me. But yeah, like the printing on Fives' helmet is.
Yeah, 5 is a bit distracting.
Okay, well, thank you all for watching.
Feel free to leave a comment if you would like to in the
A
comments.
comment.
Comment. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see more reviews.
Subscribe.
And
Let's start a random thing. Let's start doing a question of the episode. I don't want to say question of the day.
sure, yeah.
Question of the episode. Since it's a Zelda podcast, we'll start off with an easy one. What is your favorite Zelda game?
That's a good question. I'm willing to guess 90% of people say Breath of the Wild, but prove me wrong. All right.
Okay. Thank you all. We had fun.
I have been the LEGO Zora.
I have been Bgoldbricks.
And I am yours truly, Hylian Bricks.
See you
Don't
guys
buy from Republic Bricks.